Brenda and Casey had been inseparable since they first met in kindergarten. Growing up in the quaint town of Windermere, they shared everything: dreams, secrets, and countless sleepovers. With the arrival of summer break, the girls eagerly anticipated their next overnight adventure. One warm Friday afternoon, Brenda bounded over to their usual meeting spot under the old oak tree after school, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Casey, my parents are going out of town this weekend. Sleepover at my place?" Casey's face lit up with enthusiasm. "Absolutely. We haven't had a proper sleepover in ages." The girls spent the rest of the afternoon planning their night. They selected a mix of horror movies, stocked up on snacks, and even decided to prank call a few friends for some harmless fun. Little did they know, their seemingly innocent night would soon take a sinister turn. Friday night arrived, and Casey showed up at Brenda's house with a duffel bag stuffed with pajamas, snacks, and a few DVDs. They settled into Brenda's cozy living room, surrounded by pillows and blankets. As the first movie played, Brenda's phone buzzed with a text message from an unknown number. Brenda frowned at the screen. "That's weird. I got a message from some random number." "What does it say?" Casey asked. Her curiosity piqued. Brenda read aloud. "I see you." Casey chuckled. "It's probably just a prank. Someone from school messing with you." Brenda shrugged and decided to ignore it. However, the messages kept coming, each more unsettling than the last. "Nice PJs, Brenda. Love the popcorn. You're not alone." Brenda's heart pounded as she showed the texts to Casey. "This isn't funny anymore." Casey's expression turned serious. "Maybe you should block the number." Brenda did just that, trying to shake off the creeping sense of unease. They returned to their movie marathon, but the night's excitement was dampened by the mysterious texts. The next morning, Brenda woke to a barrage of new messages from the same number, even though she had blocked it. Her heart raced as she opened the first one, a photo of her house, taken from outside. More pictures followed, each one closer and more invasive. She called Casey in a panic. "Casey, someone's been taking pictures of my house. What if it's the same person who sent those texts?" Casey's voice was calm but firm. "We need to call the police, Brenda." Brenda hesitated. "What if it's just a prank? I don't want to overreact." Casey insisted. "Better safe than sorry. I'll come over and we can call together." When Casey arrived, they made the call. The police took their statement seriously and promised to send a patrol car to keep an eye on the neighborhood. Feeling slightly reassured, the girls decided to make the best of the day. That night, the girls camped out in the living room again, keeping all the lights on and the doors and windows locked. They tried to distract themselves with more movies, but every little noise made them jumpy. Around midnight, just as they were beginning to relax, a loud crash echoed from the back of the house. Brenda and Casey froze, their eyes wide with fear. The noise trap they had set, a stack of pots and pans, had been triggered. "Did you hear that?" Brenda whispered, her voice trembling. Casey nodded, clutching a kitchen knife she had brought for protection. "We need to hide. Now." They scrambled to the nearest closet, huddling together in the darkness. Brenda dialed 911, whispering their address and the situation to the operator. The sound of footsteps grew louder, slow and deliberate. Brenda could hear her own heartbeat thudding in her ears. The living room door creaked open, and a shadowy figure entered. Holding their breath, the girls watched as the figure moved through the room, searching. Suddenly, the closet door was yanked open, and a man lunged at them. Casey slashed with the knife, catching him on the arm. The man howled in pain and stumbled back, giving them a glimpse of his face. It was Gary, a man who had moved to their neighborhood a few months ago. He had always seemed friendly, if a bit awkward, but now his face was twisted with rage and obsession. Brenda and Casey bolted from the closet, running for the front door. Gary was right behind them, blood dripping from his arm. Just as he reached out to grab Brenda, the sound of sirens filled the air. Red and blue lights flashed outside, and Gary hesitated, giving the girls enough time to fling open the door and rush into the yard. The police arrived just in time, tackling Gary to the ground as he tried to flee. Brenda and Casey watched, trembling, as the officers handcuffed him and led him away. The nightmare was over, but the terror lingered. An officer approached them, his expression one of concern. "Are you girls all right?" Brenda nodded, her voice barely above a whisper. "We're okay, thank you." Casey clutched Brenda's hand. "What happens now?" The officer explained that Gary would be charged with stalking, breaking and entering, and attempted assault. They assured the girls that they would be safe and offered to have a patrol car watch their house for the next few nights. The next few days were a whirlwind of police interviews and media attention. It was revealed that Gary had become obsessed with Brenda shortly after moving into the neighborhood. He had been watching her for weeks, taking photos and sending the creepy messages. The community rallied around Brenda and Casey, offering support and comfort. Despite the overwhelming attention, the girls found solace in each other. They talked through their fears, went to therapy, and leaned on their families for strength. Years later, Brenda and Casey remained best friends. They had grown stronger, their bond unbreakable. They still had sleepovers, but now they were more cautious, always aware of their surroundings. The town of Windermere moved on, but the story of Brenda and Casey's terrifying night remained a cautionary tale. It reminded everyone that sometimes the real monsters are the ones we least suspect. Brenda and Casey continued to support each other, their friendship a beacon of hope and resilience in the face of darkness. They knew that no matter what life threw at them, they would face it together